in the depictions of the snake. And when it strikes,
squirt
it can retain. Like and
Alright, here we
subscribe
go.
right now, or you're gonna have
Top
terrible
10
luck
most
for the next
venomous
week.
snakes in the world.
Snakes are probably some of the most feared creatures in the world, and while this is perfectly in line, it may be a bit of a stretch, because out of the
Bro, that one
3,000
had
known snake
horns
species,
on
just a
it?
mere 200 of them pose to any considerable danger to humans. And among these 200 species, there are a select few with the most lethal venom. In our video today, we've sampled 10 of these bad boys from the Serpent Kingdom that you'd rather your paths not cross.
I wonder how many are here in
Number
the
10.
States.
Boomslang. In the Afrikaans language, boomslang
Oh my
translates to
God,
tree snake,
what is that
which means a larger part of the serpent's time is spent hanging on trees. Its hunting, too, is highly dependent on trees, as it has evolved to mimic the branches. In case of a potential meal, it extends forward
Okay,
in almost
neon?
motionless fashion before
Or
striking.
green?
This is when it releases its potent venom into the victim via its large fangs and extremely flexible jaws that can open as much as 170 degrees. Despite the potency of their venom and their large
Oh, they're every
1.6
color.
meter lengths, boomslangs choose their enemies carefully. Usually they flee from any animal they deem too large to eat, choosing to attack only the likes of frogs, lizards, and
Okay,
chameleons.
good.
Typically,
Stay
a
with the
boomslang only
frogs and
attacks
the
people
lizards.
if they attempt to handle or kill it. That's why, despite being one of the most venomous snakes in the world, it has resulted in very few human fatalities in
I
its
like
natural
that.
range. But perhaps its slow-acting venom has also played a role. The symptoms usually show up hours after the bite, which is enough to seek medical attention. On the other hand, this could give victims a false sense of reassurance that could very well escalate
Bro,
the
was that
situation.
a whole chameleon?
Victims can require a blood transfusion if antivenom hasn't been administered within 24 to 48 hours. Number 9.
Ah.
Banded crate.
Ooh.
This is one of the largest crates, with maximum lengths averaging just below 3 meters. Most outstanding are the alternate black and yellow bands across its entire body, hence the name. Also conspicuous in this snake species is the triangular cross-section that isn't so common in other snakes. These showy bad boys usually feed on other snakes, but routinely snack on fish and frogs whenever possible.
Bro, you
Despite
know
their
a
highly
snake
venomous
is
reputation,
vicious
banded crates are hardly seen, as most of their
when it
activity
eats
is
king
after
cobras.
nightfall. This is when they are likely to bite and hence more dangerous. During daytime, they prefer to laze around in pits, grass, or drains. If disturbed, their first go-to defense is to hide their heads under their body coils, preferring to be left alone. But for anyone who doesn't heed this kind call, the snake will bite, delivering around 20 to 114 milligrams of venom. In small amounts, the venom triggers vomiting, diarrhea, dizziness, and abdominal pain.
Oh
Large
my.
doses combined with a lack of treatment lead to respiratory failure, suffocation, and death.
I wouldn't
The
wish
fatality
that
from
on
banded
my
crate
worst
bites
enemy.
has been found to be about 10%, which isn't so bad compared to other snakes in this video.
Okay, 10%
Number 8.
isn't that bad, you know?
Tiger snake. The
Uh-oh.
tiger snake is so named because of its tiger-like banded body, although the colors vary a lot between different individuals. For the most part, they're solitary and only seek company for mating purposes. A bulk of their hunting activities is restricted to daytime, although they can also opt for nighttime snacks when it's warm. Tiger snakes are native to Australia, where they've accounted
Oh,
for
good,
at least
good.
17% of identified
Thank
snake
God,
bites
they're not
between
here in the States.
2005 and 2015. According to estimates, fatalities from these bites range between 40 and 60%. Part of the snake's lethality
40?
lies in its venom having a blood-clotting agent and a nerve paralyzer that can immediately spell doom for the victim. Symptoms of a bite usually
Holy
include
cow.
pain, especially in the neck and foot regions, numbness, tingling, and sweating. These are
Bro, if
quickly
I ever go
followed
to
by breathing
Australia,
difficulties, paralysis, and eventually
I'm
death
bringing my
if there
poisonous
is no
animal
immediate
book.
medical care. But in almost all cases, the affected limb is instantly immobilized. Naturally, most of them would rather stay away from people, but launch into an offensive once startled or if they feel threatened. Number 7. Coastal taipan. Found in Australia and New Zealand,
Oh,
the
hope-
coastal taipan is known
Hopefully
not
all these
just
are in
for its
Australia. I
potent
hate to
venom,
say
but
it.
its size too.
Shout out to my
In
Australian
Australia,
friends.
it's considered the longest venomous snake, growing to as much as 2 meters on average.
Holy crap.
Larger specimens exist, although they're hard to come by. For instance, records kept by the Queensland Museum show the longest coastal taipan to be around 3 meters. The snake contains one of the most lethal venoms of any terrestrial
Bro,
snake,
why does that
ranking
snake
at
look like
number
Voldemort
3 in the snake
from
kingdom.
Harry Potter?
A single bite from this snake's venom amounts anywhere from 120 milligrams to 400 milligrams. This venom induces symptoms such as internal bleeding, kidney damage, vomiting, and
now we're getting into
convulsions.
internal bleeding
If
land.
left untreated, victims can die in as little as 30 minutes, although 2.5 hours is more common. The duration usually varies with individuals and the amount of venom
That's gotta be
injected.
like
Untreated coastal type
top
bites
10
have a
worst
fatality
deaths.
of 100%, which was the case up until the 1950s when an antivenom was made available by the Commonwealth Serum. Only
Oh, they got
one
an
person is
antivenom?
known to have survived the fatal bite in the late 1940s, but his blood had turned completely black by the time nurses attended to him. Number 6. Saw-scaled viper.
Oh,
This is
no.
a whole genus of highly venomous snakes found in at least 3 regions, namely Africa, the Middle East, and Asia. They're rather teeny serpents, with the largest species growing to just about 90 centimeters long.
But
The smallest, on the other hand,
imagine
can attain a
seeing
maximum length of 30 centimeters. Species in this genus have been responsible for the most snake bites and resultant deaths worldwide, probably owing to their wide range and, of course, their
my
venom.
God, its head is
According
so
to stats,
big.
most bites occur during the night when the snakes are most active. And just how severe these bites turn out depends on the species of the snake, the sex, location,
Hey man,
and
if
the
you live in
seasons.
North
Females
Africa,
tend to produce venom that is twice
the
as
Middle
toxic
East
as
or
that produced by
Asia?
males. The males, on the other hand, lead in the amount of venom
Watch out for
produced
these
during
guys.
summer months. The most severe effect of a saw-scaled viper's bite is hemorrhage that can occur several days after the attack. Number 5. King Cobra.
ooh,
Almost everyone has heard of the mighty king cobra, the longest venomous snake in the world. Adults can grow to as much as 4 meters, but the longest recorded specimen was slightly longer at nearly
Oh my
6
God.
meters. It's highly revered in parts of Asia like India, Myanmar, and Sri Lanka, where it is endemic. In India, for instance, it's a national reptile. Despite its fearsome reputation, the king cobra
If I
is
see
known to
one of
hunt mainly
those,
within the snake kingdom, preying
I'm
on
dead.
other serpents in
I'm
the
dead.
same range, such as the banded krait and python. It only goes after birds and lizards when the food sources start dwindling. Usually a non-aggressive beast, the king cobra is known to attack when incubating or when it perceives an intrusion into its personal space. In both of these cases,
Okay, good.
it's
They're
known to
kind of
raise
like
its head
docile,
and extend
so we
its
don't
hood,
gotta worry about these
posture that is
guys.
popular in the depictions of the snake. And when
can
it strikes,
squirt
it can
venom?
retain the bite for as much as 8 minutes. Effects of the bite include excruciating pain, paralysis, and drowsiness in mild cases. For serious envenomation, these mild symptoms are followed by cardiovascular
Hey,
collapse,
if you're from
coma,
India,
and death. The fatality rate for
you
king
know,
cobra
good
bites ranges
luck.
between 50 and 60%.
holy crap.
Number 4. Barba amarilla.
I've never heard of this
The
one, so
Barba
that's not here.
amarilla is part of the pit viper species, endemic to the northern parts of South America. For a larger part, these venomous snakes stay on land, but they've proven to be quite versatile with climbing and swimming abilities for when they need to pursue prey. Part
That's
of what
probably out
makes
of
them
the Amazon,
dangerous
huh?
is their highly irritable nature, the high ability to camouflage themselves, and the swiftness with which they attack. Ensuing symptoms after envenomation include severe bleeding, blisters, kidney failure, and abnormal clotting. The worst case is when there is a hemorrhage in the central nervous system, which can lead to death. Interesting fact, a patient still died from a Barba amarilla bite even after being administered with antivenom. The patient was reportedly
the
bitten in the
antivenom doesn't
Brazilian
even work with
Amazon
these
and reported
things.
symptoms such as dizziness, vomiting, diarrhea, and headaches. Number
Holy
3.
crap.
Belcher's sea snake.
Ooh.
As you can tell from the name,
I've
the
seen one of
Belcher's
these
sea snake
before.
hangs out in an aquatic environment,
It was in
mostly
the
Indian
aquarium,
Ocean.
though.
Just like any sea snake, it comes up every once in a while for a nose full of air since it lacks gills.
But these things are
Most of its diet is made up of small fish, shellfish, and even eels. To catch prey, it depends largely on ambush, as it'll easily lose to fish in an open water chase. Experts have termed it as a rather timid snake and will only bite when it's seriously mistreated. So you'd be hard-pressed to find a snakebite incident involving this species. And even when it does bite, the Belcher sea snake injects just a tiny portion of its venom. But make no mistake, the small portion is still highly potent and can cause death in 30 minutes or less. That means immediate treatment
God.
is essential to alleviate some of the symptoms
Whoever
and
made
prevent
this
death.
planet?
Now it's time for today's
Why?
best pick.
Today's photo was sent to us by a subscriber, so if you come
Oh, we got
across
a
a
best
photo online
picture,
and want to know
okay.
more details about it, just send
The
it over
black
to
snake?
us for 2. Black mamba.
Black
The black
mamba.
mamba is another quite popular snake species after the king cobra. It's also one of the most feared snakes in sub-Saharan Africa. The black, and its name, was inspired by the color of its mouth
damn.
rather than its outward appearance.
Oh, they
The
can
snake
open up that
itself
much?
is generally gray or dark brown. Black mambas tend to be large, averaging 2 to 3 meters in length, although there have been reports of some growing to as much as 4.5 meters. These great
four and a
lengths
half
have done little
meters?
in impairing the snake's movement, as the black mamba is among
Meters?
the fastest snakes in the world, slithering at speeds of 12.5 miles an hour or 20
God, that might be
kilometers
faster
an hour,
than me.
according to
I need to
National
steer clear of
Geographic.
Africa.
But the speed is
You know, I
mainly
love my
vital in
African
escaping
friends,
from
but oh
potential
my
danger
God.
rather than hunting. And if it
snake's
gets slither
faster
away,
than me?
the black mamba turns to its potent venom as a last resort for defense. The venom gets to work almost immediately and can lead to collapse in about 20 minutes in the absence of treatment. In fact, before the antivenom was available,
there's no
black
way.
mamba bites always led to death. Number 1.
All right, number 1.
Inland taipan. The inland taipan holds the
None
title
of the
for
top
the most
10 here
venomous
in the
snake in the
States.
world. It's no wonder that this is sometimes referred to as the fierce snake. This fierceness extends even beyond the snake world, as this species has the most lethal venom of any known reptile. The snakes are endemic to Central and East Australia, where they were first known to the scientific world in the late
go.
1870s, but disappeared for pretty much the next century
Australia,
until their
man.
rediscovery in 1972.
Good luck.
According to
We'll say
snake
that.
experts, the inland taipan has evolved to exclusively hunt mammals, and the venom, being such an important tool in hunting, has adapted to be more lethal to the mammalian class, humans included. With a single bite, this snake can kill at least 100 fully grown men with a
if
single
you're
fatality
Australian, do
occurring
you go
within
out with,
30
like, a
to
trench
45
coat
minutes if the victim is left
Of like
untreated.
anti-venom?
What makes it even more dangerous
God,
is
let
the
me
fact that
stop, let me
it's so
stop.
precise and fast in its
All right, boys, that wraps up this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you like and subscribe. If you want to comment and answer any of my questions, put the timestamp and then the answer. If you want to recommend a video, hit me up over on Instagram. It's at Kainu Reacts. And then don't forget, take it easy.